Hey there, planners. Today I am going to be flipping through the completed month of March in my bullet journal. This was the first month I actually used this bullet journal. I ended up adding quite a few additional pages, lists, trackers, things like that. I'm going to go through all of that with you. So go grab your planners and let's get planning. So somehow in March, I ended up bullet journaling again. I'm not even quite sure how that happened. You guys watched it happen in videos. Really, it had to do with this absolutely gorgeous notebook and wanting to add some spring planner supplies into my collection. And this notebook just got me hooked. The paper quality is amazing. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm back in a bullet journal. I actually am loving the ride though, and I can't wait to flip through somewhat messy in real life version of me rediscovering my love of bullet journaling. But before I dive right in, I do want to say welcome to those of you who are new to Planning Annie. We are super excited that you're here. Here on this channel, we are a community of planner enthusiasts. We love our planners. We love our planning supplies. We love being productive, getting things done, and having all the right tools to help us focus where we need to. We also love all the creative aspects of journaling and our supplies and stationery and mediums to help us be the most creative. So if that sounds like something you enjoy too, I do hope you'll consider subscribing and becoming a permanent part of our community. Hop down in the comments below. There's always a lively discussion going on there. Share ideas, ask questions, answer questions, keep the conversation going down there. Okay, so of course I'm going to have some things blurred out because my whole life is not shareable, but I think you'll get the gist of how I used this bullet journal in the month of March. So first spread is always my master calendar. This is where I kind of pile everything in. I did include some goals up here at the top. This ends up being a very handy resource for me to see at a glance what myself, my husband, and my family is doing in the month. And so this was great. This was very handy. I will say some of the watercolors that I used had like a metallic tint to them, which made it a little bit difficult to write. Not too bad. My Pilot Dr. Grip gel pen did a pretty good job, and man, I love being able to use this pen on this fabulous thick 160 GSM paper. So you can see the pages are a little wrinkly too. That doesn't bother me. I enjoyed the watercoloring process. So this ended up being a very good tool for me and one I'm going to keep for the month of April. I did have my meal plan here, and I left myself enough room to write. I'm sort of focusing in on low carb and keto, things like that. So I left myself some room to write some alternatives for me to things that the family was eating. So I would know when I was making my grocery list, things like that, how to keep up there. I also put, some notes about what we loved, what we didn't, things like that. You'll see these sticky notes everywhere because they're gorgeous all throughout this month. I actually picked up this pack of sticky notes as part of my spring planning supplies haul. I'll have a link to the video down below, as well as everything I talk about or show you here. I'll have all that listed down below, but these are probably one of my favorite items that came out of my spring planning supplies haul this year. This is my brain dump for the month of March. It's where I just throw things down that I don't want to forget, but I'm not quite sure where they go. I reference this. I actually need to check a few things off that I'm looking at. But I will reference this as I set up the month of April. I'll come here, pull things that need to go in, move some things to the future log, or just scratch things off because they're not needed anymore. But this is a safe place for those items to live until I'm ready to process them in my system. I did have a baby shower that I was throwing, and so I've got a lot of information about baby shower stuff here. It was kind of a planning board. I also had a lot of information about Easter planning and things I was, cooking, Easter baskets for my kids and my husband, all of that stuff. So this was a great little page to have just to capture everything related to Easter for the month. Then we go right into my weekly plans, and I this is where I kind of experimented the most to figure out, what is the information that I actually want to see on this one single spread. I have goals, I have a tracker, I have a list, I have a place for next week. I kind of piled a lot of stuff in, and you'll see that I take some things off, put some things back on, and I'm really just experimenting in the month of March to see what is going to work for me and what is not. Do I like a spread like this where I have all the days vertically across? Do I like a spread like this where they're more, boxes, more horizontal shaped, information with less extra stuff around the edges? So you see, I'm just kind of playing and experimenting, and I really had a lot of fun doing it. I enjoyed the process of just seeing what is it. Here's an example, kind of like a Hobonichi Weeks, where I've got all the days on one side and notes and other stuff on the other side. So really trying to find my groove. I think this layout with the horizontal days across the top might be probably my most favorite, and one page dedicated to notes. So lots of stuff going on in the month of March, and it was really fun to experiment and test things out. In addition to that, I had a place to put down ideas for content for Planning Annie. I have a summer planning vacation spread that I'm doing for the family, where we're planning a trip. A reading list, which I ended up transferring to another journal, but this really helped me get the ideas out on paper. I started a cycle tracking, a place to just keep track of cycle and notes to go along with it. I'm at a certain age where I need to be keeping up with this stuff, which stinks. Getting old stinks, but it is what it is. I created a life admin tracker, and this is a place for me to keep up with things like, when did we change the oil? I want to keep up with when I place Sam's Club orders, and when was the last time I washed my makeup brushes, things like that. I'm just starting to populate this list with life admin tasks, but I will continue to do that and then track this. I've got January through December across, and I can just track the last date each month that those things occurred. I've got a homeschool tracker and a volleyball tracker, both club ball and school ball, so we can keep up with all the things related to those two seasons. And then I've got a place where I'm keeping up with date night ideas, family fun ideas, like things we can go do as a family. And then also I like to keep track of my husband's golf scores and where he plays, and just notes about, how he's doing. That's one of his passions. And so I like to kind of track it in my planner so I can always look back and tell him how great he's doing. A to watch list. This is a place I used a little Dutch door here because I love movies and TV shows, things like that. I like to have them on while I'm doing other things. And so I've got a little place to keep track of what is it that I am consuming, what is the media that I'm consuming, what movies I'm watching, what TV shows, and where they're from, whether, Netflix or Disney, that kind of stuff. So I've got a tracker for that. I also have a wish list, and then this includes places for me to keep track of what family members also are asking for, just a master wish list place. And then we get into the month of April, which I have already shared a setup video for this. So if you missed that, I'll have that link down below to go check out. What I will say about the month of March is this has been a learning and experimenting month for me. I have figured out some things that I do want to do. I figured out some things that I don't want to do. I set up some of the framework that I feel like list things like that will help me really just kind of use this as a single planning tool, and I find myself morphing to that. I have been in a place where I have kind of had a wallet on the go planner and then like a stay-at-home planner, but actually I'm finding the more things I put in here, the more I'm just reaching for this tool, and this is becoming my sort of everything is in here tool. So that's an interesting shift that's happening. I'm not really I'm not really forcing that, and I'm not really holding back of doing that. I'm just kind of letting it morph as it wants to see what is happening. So I would say very much like spring and the change that's going on in, you know, outside and the weather and all of that, I feel like that is being reflected in the changes in my planner system. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a flip through and kind of how things are going in my planner system. I would love to hear from you. Spring tends to be a time of renewal and change. Are you experiencing that in your planner system? If you're using a bullet journal, I would love to hear your ideas. What should I be including? What would help make this a kind of one-stop shop? If that's where I'm headed, what do you think I should have in here to help that become the case? I would love to hear all your thoughts and comments down below. Let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to Planning Annie for more content like this, and as always, thanks for planning with me.